Okay, hi everybody. Welcome to the Covalent One Unified API, 1 Billion Possibilities workshop. Here we have Harish and Charlie, who are from our sponsor Covalent, who are going to be leading today. And they're going to share all there is to know about Covalent and the API. So yeah, thank you so much, Harish and Charlie, for being here, and take it away.
Awesome, Nisha. Thank you so much for having us. I'm just going to share my screen. Can you see that okay?
Yeah, we got it.
Okay, perfect. Okay, awesome. Well, hello everyone. So hate to disappoint you. I'm not Ganesh Swami, who was originally scheduled to present. He's one of the co-founders. And there was an issue, so he wasn't able to make it. So I'm going to do my best to fill in for him, and I've got my colleague Charlie Baker here as well. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Covalent and where we fit in with the overall Web3 crypto tech stack, and then Charlie will take over and walk through some of the resources for the hackathon that we've got, as well as provide an in-browser demo of our API. So my name is Harish. I look after developer relations here at Covalent. And Charlie, who's joining me, he literally started with us on Monday. So that's kind of how we roll here at Covalent, as part of our onboarding, to get someone new to present at perhaps the largest Web3 hackathon in the world with over 1,000 developers. So I'm sure that Charlie's not sweating here. So let me talk a little bit about what Covalent is. At our core, we believe that blockchain technologies can change the world, but this potential is left unfulfilled if that data is not accessible. So we believe that data can unlock 1 billion possibilities. It's in line with the name that we've given our workshop here. And these possibilities can be to help 1 billion unbanked people access and understand DeFi services. It can be to help 1 billion build 1 billion decentralized apps or products. It can be to help 1 billion traditional processes integrate and merge with decentralized systems. So those are all in line with our vision of 1 billion possibilities. Yes, blockchain data is public, but only really on the surface. To truly extract blockchain data and generate meaningful insights, you need a middleware data layer connector. And that's where we fit in the crypto stack. So you've got blockchains like Ethereum, where the data lives secured by cryptography. Then you've got nodes to access the underlying blockchain data. And these can be nodes that you run yourself or through a hosted service like Infura or GetBlock or Anchor. And then you've got Covalent, which organizes and serves up all that blockchain data. And once you have that data, there's no limit with what you can do with it. So we provide this key raw ingredient so that developers, analysts, builders can create 1 billion use cases. We've indexed the entire Ethereum blockchain, as well as a dozen other EVM compatible networks. So the data is actually immediately available. All the data is immediately available. There's no waiting for indexing. There's no 24 or 40-hour delay. That data is instant. Ultimately, our vision is to empower you, the developers and the pioneers of tomorrow, by providing the richest and most robust data infrastructure for the entire blockchain ecosystem. So you could think of us as like the Google of blockchains, and we provide this data through a single unified API, which can be used by any developer at any skill level. You don't need to set up any infrastructure. There's no complex code or SQL queries to write. Our API is the fastest way to access and use blockchain data, especially in the context of a hackathon when you need to get up and running and build quickly. The Covalent API is a developer-focused product. It's a simple REST API to pull token balances, positions, historical transaction activities, log events across a dozen different blockchains. And Charlie here will walk you through how you can use the API directly from the browser. We've got a strong belief in a vibrant multi-chain future, which of course includes Ethereum as the core anchor in the space. And our API is designed so that you really just need to make essentially a single character change to switch getting data from Ethereum and from Polygon and a dozen other supported networks. And again, that data is instantly available to you. And by accessing this, rich blockchain data, you unlock a whole host of use cases, many of which are probably still unknown and are coming to light with the torrid pace of innovation that we see in this sector. Some of the current use cases of our API include things like, building crypto wallets to present your balances, transactions, return on investment, portfolio values, broader metadata such as token concentrations, volumes, and distributions. You can use it to build NFT dashboards, so being able to show price trends, liquidity, the return on any collectibles. Existing applications or products out there like Binance's NFT Marketplace, NFTX, Chain Guardians, these projects all use Covalent to power their NFT dashboards. You can build DEX and DAO analytics dashboards. So of course, we've seen an explosion of interest in DAOs and DEXs. So we've actually got a custom API endpoint that is used for automated market makers like Uniswap. So you can build a DEX dashboard very quickly using those endpoints. Of course, tax compliance, especially as we start to see traditional fintech and DeFi spaces start to merge, and also being able to stream on-chain data directly into smart contracts. So Covalent's been around for nearly 4 years, and actually started out of a hackathon. Where our co-founder Ganesh Swami worked out a proof of concept organizing blockchain data into a Postgres database. And now that concept is translated into a hyper-growth startup company powering over 300 projects. We've got over almost 40 employees. We've indexed over a dozen blockchains, and we got 7,000 plus developers building with us. So we love hackathons, which we clearly realize is the fuel for innovation and adoption in this Web3 space. We like to think of hackathons as being the window to the future. And Covalent is not just an outlier, but if you look at other successful projects like 1inch, Polygon, Instadapp, these were all started at hackathons. So as you take your ideas and what you come up with here at ETHOnline, the connections you make, the concepts you build and push them forward, we're excited to see what you come up with. And maybe some of you will actually turn out to be the next hyper growth startup company that we're excited to help support. So with that, I'll pass it over to Charlie. He'll go into some of our hackathon resources and also give you a demo of our API.
Yeah, great. Thanks for the intro, Harish. Hi guys, I'm Charlie. As Harish said, I am the freshest recruit for Covalent. I've joined the API support team, so I'm going to be helping them develop the API and deal with requests. Bit of background about me. So I stumbled into the cryptoverse a couple of years back, bumbled my way down the road, building some algos, some trading algos, sentiment testing, then discovered the NFT space. And as of a few weeks ago, I just recently launched my own personal NFT, which I'm going to show my screen and just, albeit not on the Ethereum blockchain, but yeah, that's a bit about me and my recent path. So I'm going to be talking to you about two main resources today. So we're going to be starting looking at the Ethereum, the docs page for Covalent. So this is the kind of main page you want to be looking at to get all of your key information to get started using the API. So first thing you're going to want to do is head over to the this page and sign up for your free API key. So you click on this link here and this takes you to the landing page to sign up to get your own API key. Once you've done that, you can then begin interacting with the API. So best place to start there. So if you want to be looking at what networks are supported, here we have a detailed list of networks we're supporting. So to name a few, Ethereum, Matic, Phantom, and many more. Key point here, which Harish mentioned earlier. So this chain ID, this allows us to very quickly and efficiently change chain. So what's doing query requests on the API, which will all become apparent when I go through it. So this chain ID is just for integration into the API. So those are the networks we support. Next good place to look would be looking at the Alchemist Cookbook. So this is a great tool for leveling up your use of the API. So here we have a bunch of tutorials, how-to guides, case studies, and great references to look at to build out your applications or to start here for your hackathon. So we're going to take a look at the project showcases. So all of our project showcases here have been built out at the back of hackathons. So if you're looking to start building out a DEX or looking at NFT wallets or looking to do some multi-chain analysis for a project or a hackathon, this would be a great place to start with some high-level details of what's going on there, tools, and some good code to use. So now we're going to take a look at the API. So we're going to head to covalent.com/docs/API. So when you go there, this takes you to the landing page. So what we see is a bunch of currencies, all the currencies we support here. So we support the all of the main leading currencies, apart from the British, sadly, with me being British. So these currency quotes are quite useful for interacting with the API when you're doing query requests. So they're all standard ones you should be familiar with whilst using this. So from here, we're going to look at Class A. So what Class A is this applies to all blockchains we support. So you can cycle through the blockchains we support just through changing this chain ID string. So for the purpose of this tutorial, we're going to be taking a look at Ethereum, which has the chain ID string of 1. So we're going to take a look at check token balances for address, which is what we have here. So I want to be looking at the Ethereum chain. So we want to put 1, and we want the address string. So I'm just going to go ahead and open up my MetaMask. I'm going to grab my ID for my wallet. And here, note, we have a balance of $1,660. So now I'm just going to pop in my address to the address string box. I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to hit try. So now the API has fetched my wallet and the contents of the wallet and its address. So what we're looking at here, these numbers, quote rate, this is the current USD to Ethereum rate. Then this quote rate 24 hours, this is the average 24-hour rate for Ethereum to USD. And then here we're looking at my actual wallet balance quote. So this is approximately equal to within a very good range of my balance. We just saw a MetaMask here. So that's one quick, very useful tool. We can also do this using the Ethereum name string. So if you want to take a look at demo.eth to check the balance, we want to try that. And here we see the balance of the demo.eth, which is 3,416. So a great place to get started whilst experimenting with the API. So next, we're going to take a look at how to extract historical portfolio value over time. This is particularly useful if you're wanting to track whales or track any information on a wallet you want to be hitting up, or you want to know what a certain person's been doing over the last few months. So again, we've got my wallet address saved in the clipboard. So we're going to take a look at that. We paste that in, and we try. So here we have fetched the historical portfolio balance for my account. So what we're looking at here is the timestamps. So we have the quote rates and then the balance here. So this goes through all the way back to the start of the blockchain. So if we go back to it far enough, we will see that my balance will be 0 here when my wallet was created a short while back. But as I said, our database has the entire indexing of all of the blockchain for every transaction for each network we support. Since I mentioned NFTs earlier, we're going to take a look at getting some NFT data. So in theory, we can go again here and we can check out the contract address. Oh no, we don't want to do that. Apologies. So for that, we need to actually grab the contract address of the NFT, which you could grab through getting a get balance request for my account, but I'm not prepared to do that. So if you do want to do that, you simply just grab the account address of the contract address of your NFT, and then the ID of the token to grab the metadata, and then that will spit out the metadata from the JSON, and you can change the format of this string here through, if you want it in a CSV or a JSON, it will come out in whichever format you require. So now we're going to go ahead and look at Class B. So Class B is application specific, and it's custom built for the endpoint for certain blockchains. So these are very specific to each chain. So here we're looking at Aave, SushiSwap, very useful tool for very specific requests from each endpoint on the API. And another fantastic tool we can use is pricing endpoints. So what we can do here is get endpoints from a large range of time period from each chain, essentially. So here we're looking at getting historical prices by address, which is a very interesting tool. But what I think we should look at is getting this historical prices by ticker symbol. So this would be really great if you wanted to do some back testing with some modeling, or you wanted to do some cross-checking with some sentiment and looking at trend detection or something interesting that I'm sure that I would love to do, and a lot of other data nerds would love to apply. So we're going to go ahead and look at the quote currency string, which requires USD. And then ticker symbol, we're going to take a look at USDC. So here we have the query string parameters. So we're going to have a look for the last month. So we're going to go from today until a month before. So there we have that, and we're going to try this. So here we return the historical price by a ticker symbol for USDC for each date required from that call. So we've told it to call from the last month. So it will be fetching for each date the individual price. So as you can see, the price is varying through the date, but we expect this sort of fluctuation from the stablecoin that is USDC. And that kind of concludes my brief overview of how to extract some great data and value from the Covalent API. There are tons and tons more documents and tutorials to get stuck in, and I really advise you do so. Thanks.
Awesome, Charlie. Thank you so much. And again, great job. Again, this is your third day and you've just gotten introduced to the API and here you are demoing it. So what Charlie kind of showed you was, again, just the high level, really easy to use and understand API endpoints, but there is so much that you can actually do. And I definitely encourage you to check out some of our tutorial or how to guides and our case studies if you want to get even a deeper view into how to do some really interesting analysis. As I think you put it, Charlie, we're basically empowering data nerds to do some interesting analysis with our data.
Awesome. Does anyone have any last questions for Harish and Charlie before we close out?
Yeah, I had a question. So I've used the Covalent API and I used it mainly to get ERC20 balances. And I guess the trouble I'm having is the response time. Like it takes over 5 seconds sometimes. So I was wondering if you have any comments on that.
Yeah, we're actually re-architecting our balances endpoint because the volume of requests on that endpoint have just exploded. So yes, you might see some delays now, but we're actually in the midst of deploying an architecture fix to that. So you're going to see a significant improvement in responses. But we're just keeping up with the demand, especially on that balances endpoint where the traffic has just exploded over the last few months.
Right, for sure. Because I would love to keep track of the response time, right? Because for our use case, we kind of want to query that endpoint like a lot, right? Maybe thousands up to millions of times. So we want to make sure that that performance is a factor. So if we can like keep track of that, that would be great, because we are currently evaluating options of getting ERC20 balances. Yep. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. And you're definitely not the only one. This is probably a daily thing that we get asked. So definitely appreciate you being patient with us, but you will definitely see an improvement when that endpoint, re-architecture of that endpoint gets deployed.
For sure. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
And then I believe you got a question in the chat if you want to check that out.
Will it be compatible with the new L2 Arbitrum? So I know we have indexed Arbitrum. Any Arbitrum, Solana, some of these other non-EVMs, they require a bit more resources to go through or to utilize to be able to index. But again, what's interesting about the way we're approaching which networks we index, there's actually an opportunity for the community to put forward proposals on what networks to index, and based on that feedback, we actually prioritize the indexing work. So if there are any networks that people are interested in having us index, put forward that proposal, and that gets voted on. And if it's sort of a popular one, we'll absolutely index it.
Sorry, I had another question. So how do you see the other competitors in this space? Because like Alchemy is also like doing a lot of custom indexing on their nodes, right? And then you also see other decentralized solutions like the graph. And I think Covalent is more of a centralized solution, right? You just hit the Covalent API and they give you some data. So how do you see sort of the other competitors like nodes also doing similar things, and like the graph, who is trying a decentralized solution?
Yeah, great question. And those are all great projects. I mean, Alchemy, the graph, they're all very, very solid projects. We actually don't really see them, in sort of the competition lens, in the sense of us saying, this is the graph, what they do, this is what we do. We like to think we're kind of rowing our own boat here. And the way we've approached our architecture with our focus on sort of an extract, load, transform, so an ELT sort of pipeline, that's kind of our prime focus. And we are actually moving to decentralize. We've actually already started that process. So over the next 3 to 4 months here, you'll sort of see different steps in that process get executed as that network gets decentralized. We do want this to be in the as a public utility in the public domain in a decentralized manner. So that is absolutely the process we're going towards. And I'd say our focus is on sort of optimizing this extract, load, transform data pipeline, which is a bit unique from what you might see from the other players in this space.
Right. Makes sense. Could you just explain what ELT means?
Yeah. So if you, we're getting into the weeds here. I don't know with respect to the audience here if we're going to put them to sleep.
Maybe if not, then we can have a discussion offline about that. For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to ping us in Discord, I actually got a couple slides on this as well that I was thinking of going through. But when we're talking about just how the user is accessing their data, typically the process that they go through right now is you pull out the data from your data warehouse, it gets transformed and loaded, and then that's the data stream that you've got access to. We like to do our basically present our data so that you can transform it at runtime. So if you need to aggregate, filter, or do any sort of transformations, you've got the ability to do that in sort of real time, as opposed to having that preloaded to use. So yeah, if you got more detailed questions there, Sean, happy to answer them in Discord if you want to join us there.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, sounds good. Thank you very much.
All right, so we've kind of hit the end of the workshop. I do want to encourage everybody to continue this conversation with Harish and Charlie in the Covalent sponsored Discord channel. And I also want to thank Covalent for sponsoring ETHOnline this year, and Harish and Charlie for coming out and presenting such a great presentation for all of us. And yeah, everybody have a really great day, and I'll see you at the next workshop. Bye.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.